what you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
And now, Mike's Thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, we are officially into this weird part of the NFL season. We are officially a part of like, do we get excited or we like, you know what, it's still preseason? Do we get excited that football's here? We're like, whoa, slow down, baby! I can tell you one thing, I'm on the latter part of the situation. I'll say, whoa, slow down, baby! Hall of Fame game is just hot. Well, let's just call what it is. You're going to go with a third and fourth stringers. You're not going to see your starters. You're not going to see your backup players. You're going to see guys battling for camp positions. With that being said, August 14th is coming. August 14th is when circle those days because that is when stuff starts to get real. High school football season starts. College football season starts. And the NFL season officially gets to start hammering home of what is going to happen. With that being said, if you guys are a part of any fantasy football teams that are doing drafts right now, or NFL fantasy football leagues, I should say, that are doing drafts right now, leave that draft now. We are seeing people drop like flies. Ricky Pearsall, Mike Evans, the Chicago Bears safety, Kobe Bryant, right? People are going down. So for Man Hour Nation, I understand we're excited about football. We're excited about Thursday Night Football coming up into 3 days. I get it. We're excited. At the end, slow it down. At the end, slow it down because it's still preseason and training camp doesn't matter. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw, steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off, get it hype. This Man Hour Sport Talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation, guys, and welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, the home for live, raw, uncut NFL covers. I'm so glad you guys want us today. Guys, before we jump into today's action, make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, also subscribe so you don't miss a live interactive show. That's the easiest way to stay plugged into us and everything that's happening with the Man Hour. But if you want the full Man Hour experience, guys, become a Pigskin Pundit. That is our members-only community right here at youtube.com/Man Hour. You get free into the weekly NFL pick'ems, exclusive giveaways, and bonus live stream only the Pigskin Pundits get. So if you guys know about the next level access, guys, join the squad today. And spoiler alert, we are giving away an NFL jersey to a special Pigskin Pundit in the month of August. So if you guys have not become a Pigskin Pundit, sign up today. Get registered for that jersey giveaway because we are giving away a jersey of your choice for your team that you rep or somebody else, whatever. We're giving away a jersey this month just to say thank you. Guys, now remember, this is a live interactive show, so drop your thoughts, your opinions, or the hottest takes in the comment down below. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, Mr. John. People saying, what is up, man? What's up, John? What's up? Guys, if you do not know, John is a Pigskin Pundit. John is a part of the members-only community. John is one of the founding members of the Pigskin Pundits, and he is going to say, get you some. Get you some of that Pigskin Planet, guys. 99 cents a month. You can win a jersey this month. You get free entry to the weekly NFL pickups. That's $4 value right there every month. Every week, guys, we do a NFL pick'em to win some $1 bills, y'all. $1 entry, you get 100% of the prize pot. What? Why aren't you signed up? Why don't you say the bennies are banging? They are banging. They are banging just like helmets are banging across the NFL landscape, guys. So, guys, Man Hour is back. We are back 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time this week. But then starting next week, I believe that is August 8th, August 9th, whatever that Monday is, 7 p.m. East Coast time. We got a 4 and a 3, we got a 5 and a 2. Either way, 7 p.m. East Coast time. We're right here, youtube.com/Man Hour. But guys, the NFL news is dropping. The NFL news is banging. The NFL news is doing some weird things, and something that's kind of had me a little bit head scratching, a little bit about what's going on, baby. Jadeveon Clowney is heading back to Houston. Does the signing of Jadeveon Clowney actually make the Houston Texans better? Does he make them a top-tier defense? Does he make them a Super Bowl caliber team? My answer? Not really. Now, before Texans fans start blowing up the chat, hear me out. Slow it down, baby. Yes, this is a cool story. The former #1 overall pick is coming home. The team that drafted him back in 2014 is bringing him back all of these years. Clowney reportedly chose Houston because he believed they can compete for Super Bowl, even though he had other offers. That's a great headline. But headlines do not win football games because, let's just be honest, what is his role going to be in Houston? Because Clowney isn't walking into Houston as a starter. He is not going to be taking away snaps from Danielle Hunter. He's not going to be taking snaps away from Will Anderson Jr. At best, he is your third, if not fourth, edge rusher, a quote rotational guy at best. A second-string player who comes in on passing downs. And there's nothing wrong with that. Do not get it twisted. Every Super Bowl contenders needs depth. But let's stop acting like this signing changes the AFC, because it doesn't. This is his 7th team, guys, in his NFL career. Clowney has been in the NFL since 2014. He's now joining his 7th different team. Think about that. Houston, where he got drafted, Seattle, Tennessee, Cleveland, Baltimore, Carolina, Dallas, and now back to Houston. When you have been on that many teams in 14 seasons, right? You're probably not a franchise-changing player anymore. Let's just be honest. You are a veteran who fills a role. A small role, but still a role. And that's exactly what Clowney is at this stage of his career. A role player at best. Now, don't get it twisted. Do not twist my words. Jadeveon Clowney can still play football. Last season in Dallas, he proved he still has something left in the tank. Finished with 8.5 sacks before hitting free agency. He's still good against the run. He can still get after the quarterback. He still brings leadership, experience, and all those things matter. Especially for a team with Super Bowl expectations. But all those things worth acting like people Houston just signed the missing piece. Guys, Houston did not sign the missing piece. They simply did not. The truth is, the Houston Texans defense is good with or without Clowney. Now, here's why I do not think this move moves the needle, in my opinion. The Texans already have one of the best defenses in football. Matter of fact, they have a top 5 defense hands down. They got Will Anderson Jr., Danielle Hunter, Deagle Singletary, Aziz. This defense wasn't missing a superstar edge rusher. Matter of fact, this defense wasn't missing anything. This defense already has 2 elite edge rushers. What they needed was depth, insurance, and a veteran who can give them quality steps without wearing down the starters. That's what Jadeveon Clowney is. And honestly, to me, that's perfectly fine. Not every signing has to be flashy, but is Jadeveon Clowney okay with that? So this is where I finally stand. I do like the signing. Yes, I really do. It's low risk, high reward. It's good for depth. It's a good feel good story seeing Jadeveon Clowney finishing where his career started. But let's not pretend that this suddenly makes the Houston's the favorite to win the Super Bowl. If the Texans are going to make a deep playoff run, it will not be because of Jadeveon Clowney. It'll be because CJ Stroud gets back to playing elite football. And because the stars have already on that defense continue to dominate, Clowney is just another piece. Not the centerpiece, just a piece. But Man Our Nation, I want to hear from you guys. Is Jadeveon Clowney actually the missing piece to make the Houston Texans football team better? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys are new here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join us every Monday through Friday, every Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. East Coast time, right here at manhour.com and youtube.com/manhour. So let's get into the comments and discuss your thoughts. Clowney has one more good year, and then he retires. John, you are a pigskin pundit.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
I don't think Jadeveon Clowney has any good left years in it. Matter of fact, when he went to Seattle, I thought he was done and washed up then. But here he is. Year after year, keeps coming back. I feel like Clowney is going to be one of those guys that is like 2030, 2031, and he's still on a team somewhere getting like three or four sacks. I don't think he's that good. Ron says, breaking news. Ding, 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 breaking news across the board. Packers still suck. Packers are still the best team in the NFC North, Ron. Let's not get it twisted. Mike says, go Bucks. Slow it down, baby. The Bucks are the best team in the NFC South, though. I got to give you that one. Mike. Touche to you. What's up, Mike? What's up? Guys, over here at youtube.com/manhour, guys, become a pigskin pundit. But what do you guys think? Is Jadeveon Clowney the missing piece in Houston? John People says, with Will Anderson, Houston defense will get them to the playoffs. Then they'll need CJ to perform. So, Mr. John People, you are 100% correct. You will not hear me say this a lot from Old Man River over here, but John Peoples is actually spot on right here. The Houston Texans have a top 5 defense in the NFL. If anybody tells you different, they're not watching football. They have the dirtiest player in football. They have the most underrated player in football, and they have one of the most elite defenses in football. Fuck, who are those players? The dirtiest player? Aziz. Let's just call it what it is. Aziz is a dirty player. The most underrated player, Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter will never jump off of the film at you unless you're watching him, but then you go look at his stats like, man, this guy did it again. He goes out there and does his job. And the Houston Texans carried them in the playoffs last season and through most of the season, because when CJ Stroud got hurt, old Mr. Longneck came in and the defense balled out. Electro Restoration in the chat. What's up, Electro Restoration? Says Clowney was a solid special teamer, but the prime is gone for sure. Meaning for the Dallas Cowboys, right? Jadeveon Clowney is going to be like that. Hey, man, it's 3rd and 30. Pin back the ears and go make something happen. He is not going to be in there on the 4th and 1 or the 4th quarter or right before halftime to make a big stop. It's just not going to happen. He says also, howdy. What's up, man? What's up? Electro Restoration says, Ron, Bears fans, are you guys huffing paint? Green Bay best in the North? Detroit, baby. I'm not huffing paint again. This is all the Bears fans saying that them, and Ron's like, Bears took the North. Exactly. Took. Past tense. Looking at presents. Jermaine says, what's up? Is Caleb Williams the best quarterback in the North? The answer to that question is no, Jermaine. No, he's not. He is not. Mike asked the question, will the Bucs sign Mayfield? Is my biggest worry / concern. Mike. Let me go ahead and drop off this overlay here for us real quick. Let's go into solo mode and let's have that conversation, Mike. Let's have that conversation about Baker freaking Mayfield, arguably the best quarterback in the NFC South. arguably a top 10 quarterback as well. Some put him at 11, some put him at 12. I have him right about 9 as far as 2026 production, I think. I think if the Buccaneers wanted to really make a deal with Baker Mayfield, it would have already been done. Baker Mayfield is not asking to break the bank. Baker Mayfield is not asking to a franchise changing money. Baker Mayfield is not asking to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Baker Mayfield simply wants to be wanted. Every man in America, every woman in America doesn't need the biggest ring or the nicest car or the biggest house or whatever. They just want to be wanted. When my wife comes home after like a long day and she says, I just want to be held, that's honestly the best feeling in the world. She just wants to be wanted, and she wants me to hold her, right? That's all Baker Mayfield wants. Baker Mayfield wants to be wanted. If the Bucs truly wanted him, the deal would have already been done. Let's just call a spade a spade. If the Buccaneers really wanted him long term, instead of just a fling on the side, it would have already been done. With that being said, I do not think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sign Baker Mayfield long term. They might franchise tag him and try to work out a long-term deal after that. But I've said this on other shows and comments of like shows and in past discussions, and I think the writing is on the wall for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers want to move on from Baker Mayfield in this passive-aggressive way, but not giving him a 5, 6, 7-year deal. And I ultimately think Baker Mayfield will end up somewhere else. That somewhere else, I believe people said it, makes perfect sense. Minnesota. I think he ends up ends up back in the AFC North, whether it's the Ravens, whether it's the Steelers, not the Bengals. But I do not think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sign Baker Mayfield long-term, Mike. And I'm sure that hurts your feelings, but the facts are facts, brother. The facts are facts. So getting back on topic about Jadeveon Clowney coming back home, Electoration says, yes, with Dallas, he was a solid specialist, but on defense, he missed a couple things he used to take them with ease. Age is catching up with him a little bit. Agreed. As a wise man once said, Electoration's Father Time is unbeaten. Father Time is undefeated. And also, to add some more wisdom to you guys, the sideline has never missed a tackle. Ron says the Bears will take the North, and again, the Packers lick our cleats, losers. Ron, tomorrow we will talk about the NFC North for you. Tomorrow we'll talk about how great your Chicago Bears are. Tomorrow on Man Hour Nation at 9 p.m. East Coast time, right at youtube.com/Man Hour, Ron, we will talk about how great Caleb Williams is. We will talk about how great Luther Burton II is. We will talk about how Kobe Bryant going down means nothing to Chicago Bears because their defense is so stout and so... We'll talk about that tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow, Ron. Come over to youtube.com/Man Hour, hit the subscribe button, and you will understand about how great your team actually is. But greatness is eyes of the beholder. Greatness is a part of our culture, but how to be great is you have to stay healthy. Guys, simple fact of the matter is the Las Vegas Raiders could have a very, very good season. The Las Vegas Raiders could be a 10, 11, 12, 13-win team this season if and only if Maxx Crosby can stay healthy. Guys, how important is Maxx Crosby to the Las Vegas Raiders this season? That's the question for you, Man Hour Nation. How important is Maxx Crosby to the Las Vegas Raiders this season? And me personally, he's everything. He's the bread and butter of this football team. And I'm going to say something that Raiders fans may not want to hear. If Maxx Crosby is not 100% all season long, the Raiders will not have a winning record. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who's calling the plays. I don't care how much better the offense looks in training camp. If Maxx Crosby isn't healthy, this team isn't making any noise. Now, let's just think about this for a second, Man Hour Nation. When people talk about the Raiders, the first player they mention is going to be Maxx Crosby. Not because he's the biggest name, because he is the heartbeat of this team. He is the emotional leader. He's the guy that sets the tone each and every Sunday or Monday or Thursday or Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever they play. When the Raiders step foot to do battle, he is the heartbeat and the emotional leader. When Max is flying around, the entire defense feeds off that energy. When he's not, everybody feels it. Guys, Crosby has been working his way back from that knee surgery after his injury ended his 2025 season early. Air quotes there. He's back on the practice field, and by his own account, he's feeling incredible. He's feeling great. But he also admitted that there's still an adjustment and he has to get back into football speed after months of rehab. That's encouraging, but here's my concern. Feeling good in shorts during training camp is totally a lot different than playing the 16 snaps against the NFL offense of like tackles. Training camp doesn't hit like week 1. Week 1 doesn't hit like week 10. And when we all know healthy Maxx Crosby really is. The Raiders do not need a good Maxx Crosby. They need a great Maxx Crosby. They need a Maxx Crosby that's going to wreck games. The guy who's going to get double teamed every single snap. The guy who forces the quarterback to throw the ball 2 seconds earlier than he wanted to. The guy that changes offensive game plans before kickoff. Because if he's just average, the Raiders become average as well. Now, don't get me wrong. Football is a team sport. One guy doesn't win championships, but one guy can absolutely change a season. Maxx Crosby is that guy for the Las Vegas Raiders. You take TJ Watt for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're different. If you take Patrick Mahomes away from the Kansas City Chiefs, they are different. You take Maxx Crosby away from the Raiders, they are a completely different football team. That's how valuable he is. But here's what scares me about Maxx Crosby. What if he rushes back? What if he's only 85%? But because he's Maxx Crosby, he refuses to come off the field. That's who he is. He's built differently. He's going to fight through the pain. He's going to tell everybody that he's fine. But sometimes your body's going to tell you a different story. The Raiders have to protect him from himself. Because I'd rather have Maxx Crosby at 100% in November than 80% in September. Guys, if Maxx Crosby stays healthy, the Las Vegas Raiders have a chance to compete. They have a chance to win the AFC West. If Maxx Crosby returns to be one of the best pass rushers in football, the Raiders will and can absolutely surprise people this season. But if the knee starts bothering him, if he misses significant time, or if he's simply not the same player, I don't see this team finishing above 500. That's how important Maxx Crosby is to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders don't need Maxx Crosby. They need to be the best version of Maxx Crosby. And this season could go sideways in a hurry if he's not. But I want to hear from you, Man Our Nation. If Maxx Crosby isn't 100% this season, will the Raiders finish with the losing season? Guys, let me know down in the comments down below. Hit the like button, share it with a couple of friends, and subscribe so you never miss a live interactive show. So let's get into your thoughts. John Peoples, Pigskin Pundit.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
The 110% he brings. He can bring 110%. Of that 80%, he's not going to be very good, John. He better bring that 110% of the 100% to be great. That's just what it is. Quick question from Electro Restorations, he says. If he was everything, then why would they even trade him? That is a great question. And the reason why they traded for him was because of the 2 number 1 picks. Let's just be honest. Maxx Crosby is what, 30, 31 years old. Once you hit 30, you are over the hill in the NFL. You, quote, have 1 foot in the grave 9 times out of 10. Name me a solid defensive, matter of fact, name me a solid player in the NFL that's not a quarterback over the age of 33 that is consistently putting up MVP numbers, defensive player of the year numbers, all pro type of situation. I will wait because they're very, very hard to find. With that being said, if a team is willing to give you 2 first-round picks for an aging player for a team that was rebuilding at the time? Absolutely. Because if you think about this, electoral registrations, when that trade was made, the Ravens did not have Tyler Lindenbaum. They did not have Quay Walker. They did not have many of those offseason moves that they got because of the Maxx Crosby trade. They were able to bring those guys in because they thought Maxx Crosby's big contract was like off the books. We get an extra first round pick this year, extra first round pick next year. We are building. We're going to the moon, baby. Matter of fact, Kirk Cousins wasn't even on the team yet. They were in total rebuild mode, and let's say retool mode. That is why you trade him. That is why you trade your centerpiece. Now, a lot of things fell into place. Maxx Crosby came back, and the Raiders got a hell of a lot better. Would I, as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, be hyping up the Las Vegas Raiders if they did not have Maxx Crosby right now? Absolutely not. I love their offseason moves. I love the addition of Quay Walker, Jalen Naylor, Kirk Cousins. I like what they did in the draft. But the truth of the matter is, Maxx Crosby is the heartbeat of this team. Why would they trade him? 2 first-round draft picks. That is why. And John says 2 number ones. Come on, man. Come on. John also says Cousins is going to crash with Vegas. He has, or he's going to cash with Vegas. He has weapons. John, I hate the Las Vegas Raiders. I hate the Raiders. And oh, by the way, I hate the Raiders. With that being said, Kirk Cousins is going to be the man, the myth, the legend in Las Vegas. Him and Clint Kubiak in 8 or 9 games in Minnesota was a top 5, top 10 quarterback during those 8 games. If you take those 8 games that he had in Minnesota with Clint Kubiak, he was a top 5 stat quarterback in the NFL. And that's with obviously one of the best receiving corps in the NFL, right? But they have that in Vegas. I'm not saying that they have an elite wide receiver corps. Do not get my words twisted. But Trey Tucker is going to be a good wide receiver for them. Trey Tucker, or sorry, not Trey Tucker. I said Trey Tucker. Jack Beck is going to be a great number 3 receiver for them. Jalen Naylor going to be the great number 2 receiver for them. X Factor, Brock Bowers. He is going to be a real deal tight end for them. Matter of fact, Brock Bowers might be the best tight end in the NFL. Yes, I know there's some others out there. The Colts receiver, can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. You have Cade Houghton. You got Tucker Kraft, right? But Brock Bowers is going to be the man, the myth, the legend. Y'all need to understand that Kirk Cousins is going to have a great season. Y'all need to understand that Kirk Cousins is going to be a top 10 quarterback this season. Y'all need to understand that Kirk Cousins is him. Electoral Restoration says those number ones can be anything, but they could be 2 Micah Parsons. John, that sounds like Jerry Jones. Listen. The Raiders historically, Electoral Restoration, look, you have to. I don't like looking at like past history, like, oh, the Raiders can't do this, because 30 years ago they did this. But historically speaking, the Raiders do not draft well. Historically speaking, the Raiders miss on number 1 draft picks more times than not. I.e., who was that quarterback that they drafted from Kentucky in the first round and made him into a receiver? Can't think of his name right now, but the point is, I get what you're saying. But also, the Raiders have shown to take a turn. Mark Davis is listening to Spytech. Spytech is making the right moves, building the team, not want a quick satisfaction like getting a like on TikTok, but he's building the foundation, and the Raiders are going to be good for a long time if they continue this mode. John says that was the deal and it folded after a knee scope. It wasn't 3 first rounds. It was 2 first rounds and a third, I thought. Top 5. Kirk Cousins is a top 5 quarterback? Or he was a top 5 quarterback? That question. Answer me that question, baby. But guys, it is time for a little thing we like to call not cold hard facts. A thing we like to call buy or sell.
Buy or sell, make the call, risk it big or lose it all. Buy or sell, rise or fall, one play left. Who's got the ball?
Alrighty, Man Down Nation, it's time for buy or sell, and here's how it works. I'm going to throw out a bold take or a question. It's up to us to decide whether we buying it or we selling it. If you're buying it, means you like it. You want some more of it, and it makes sense. But if you're selling it, means you're out. You don't like it, you're not convinced, and you're shutting it down. So, guys, let's get into the first one here. A little thing we call buy or sell. Alrighty, Man Hour Nation. So first, buy or sell the NFL season. Buy or sell. Will the Jets have a winning record in 2026? That is this NFL season. Man, our nation, like I said, it is time for buy or sell, and today we're talking about one of the hardest teams to figure out in the entire NFL. Buy or sell. The New York Jets will have a winning record in 2026. Every single offseason, it's the same old story. This is the Jets' year. We go on the moon, baby. Well, is it? Let's start with the positives because there's a lot of them in New York right now, or New Jersey, whatever. East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Jets finally look like they are operating with a plan. They did hire Aaron Glenn last season, his second year as a head coach, and players have already praised his hands-on leadership, accountability, and defensive approach during training camp. They have added veterans, they have improved the roster, and on paper, they got a schedule where they are in a spot to win a lot of winnable games. So I can realistically look at the schedule and find 6, 7, 8 wins. Then all you have to do is steal 2, if not 3 games that you're supposed to win, and boom, you're sitting at 9 and 8. It is possible. It has been done before. Here's what I really like. I really like that defense. I think this defense is going to keep them in most of every single football game this season. Aaron Glenn is a defensive coach. They're getting younger, they're getting faster, and players are already taking about the physical identity they're building. And the defense has looked energized early in this training camp. That's how you win ugly football games. Defense just travels, defense keeps you alive when offense has an off day. I have zero concerns about the Jets defense. Now, here's where everything starts to fall apart. Geno Smith. Look, Geno Smith has had a good camp the first 4 or 5 days of this camp season. Reports have him throwing a perfect practice, completing every pass in one team period, and Aaron Glenn has already committed to him as a starter. That's great. That's excelente. But I have watched Geno Smith long enough. He's going to have games where he looks like a Pro Bowler, and then he'll have games where you're asking yourself, what are we looking at? Consistency has always been the issue with Geno Smith. And then there is Aaron Glenn. I do like the hire. I think he was the right guy, but being the right hire doesn't automatically mean you're winning 9 or 10 games in year 2. He's still learning how to manage games. He's still learning how to build a culture. He's still trying to change years of losing. That's not easy. And here's what I think happens. Yes, I do think the Jets improve. They will be tougher. They will be more competitive. They will be in games late this season. But there's a huge difference between winning 6 games and winning 9 games. And this franchise still has to prove it can finish. Because we've seen talented Jets teams before. Until they consistently beat good football teams, I'm not buying the hype. I am selling, guys, that the Jets have a winning record in 2026. I think they improve. I think Aaron Glenn is changing the culture. I think the defense became one of the better units in football. But between Geno Smith's inconsistency and second-year head coach still building his program, I don't think they get over the 9-win mark. I think they're heading in the right direction, just not this season. But what do you think, Man Our Nation? Are you buying or are you selling the Jets will finish above 500 in 2026? Is this finally the year the New York Jets turn the corner? Or are we going to have the same exact conversation next offseason? Guys, drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. East Coast time. We're at youtube.com/Maur. This is live, raw, uncut NFL talk. So let's jump into the comments and discuss your thoughts. John says sell, baby. Sell, sell, sell. The Jets are going to be hot dog water. Damn. Electrician says sell as well. David will have a solid year, but like every Jets rookie, he will digress unless he gets put early. Plus losing Williams and Sauce, yeah, sell me for sure. I did forget that they traded Sauce Gardner last season for 2 first-round draft picks, if I'm not mistaken, right? They also did sell Quentin Williams to the Dallas Cowboys this last trade period too. But I think addition by subtraction is good for the New York football Jets. David White says sell on the Jets. He says sell. I don't like the Jets. So as I am with you guys, I am selling on the Jets as well. However, they did add Frank Wright. Frank Wright is a pretty good offensive coordinator, a pretty good offensive-minded coach that gives Aaron Glenn the ability to coach the defense like he did in Detroit. I'm not saying he's a great defensive coach, but I am saying that the numbers in Detroit were better than they were for the Jets last season. They added Fitzpatrick to replace Sauce. Garrett Wilson's back. Breece Hall is better than like ever. Legitimately, guys, the Jets have a very, very good chance of being competitive. The Jets have a very, very good chance of winning some games. But over 500? Absolutely not. Buy or sell number 2. Man Our Nation, buy or sell. Jahmyr Gibbs holding in at Lions training camp is a bad look. Listen. I've gone back and forth on this. I've said, hey, it's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad. And I was like, but I am buying this all day long. Now, before you Detroit Lions fans come after me, let me say this first. I believe players should get paid. If you have earned your money, go get every single penny. This isn't whether about Jahmyr Gibbs deserves a new contract or not. It's about what he's asking to be paid. Let's just be honest. Jahmyr Gibbs is getting a new deal. Reports have said that the Lions and Gibbs are actively talking, and he's expected to sign a contract worth more than $20 million per season and potentially becoming the highest paid running back in football. Good for him. That's life in the NFL. Players have a short window to make generational money. I respect it. I love the grind. But while negotiations continue, Gibbs has been seen at practice without participating, sitting out what has team called a little bit of back issues. And maybe it is. But let's just be honest. Once the contract gets signed, the back are probably going to feel a hell of a lot better. My issue isn't about the hold-in. My issue is about what he's asking to be paid. Every year when we talk about the Detroit Lions running game, it's never just Jahmyr Gibbs. It's always Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs and Ajay Pacheco, Jahmyr Gibbs and that offensive line. It's Gibbs and the committee. Here's my question. Can Jahmyr Gibbs carry a full NFL workload? We do not know. We have never really seen it. Detroit has done an outstanding job keeping him fresh, keeping him explosive, and keeping him healthy. But if you're asking to become the highest paid running back in football, I need to know that you can be that guy. Just not an explosive guy, the guy. Look around the league. Saquon Barkley has proven he can carry the Philadelphia Eagles. Jonathan Taylor has done it. Derrick Henry has done it. Christian McCaffrey has done it. Those guys have put offenses on their backs. Has Gibbs ever done that? He has been phenomenal. Do not get it twisted. He has been one of the most explosive players in the NFL game. But Detroit has intentionally managed his workload. That's not a criticism. It's simply reality. So if I'm the Detroit Lions, I'm asking, before we make you the highest paid running back in football, can you show us how you're going to be handle being RB1 for an entire NFL season? And to be fair, I think that's a fair question. Now, again, I'm not against the players about getting paid. I'm against acting like the deal is already earned when there's still questions to be answered. The Lions are still trying to build a Super Bowl team. Matter of fact, they're still trying to build a playoff team. Every dollar matters. And if you ask it to market setting money, the expectations become market setting too. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is an elite talent, but I also think there's one box left unchecked. Can he carry the full workload? Until I see that, holding in sends me the wrong message. Holding in sends the NFL fan base the wrong message. So guys, I am buying that Jahmyr Gibbs holding in is a bad look. Not because he does not deserve a new contract, which he absolutely does. But if you want to become the highest paid running back in football, I didn't know that you can do everything you can to become that title, become him. Right now, I don't think we've seen enough to answer that question. Well, what do you think, Man Our Nation? Are you buying or are you selling Jahmyr Gibbs hold in? Let me know down in the comments down below. John simply says, pay the man. Pay him what, John? 25, 20, 30 million dollars a season? What do you want to pay him? Do you want to pay him to be the highest running back in the entire NFL when he is not even the best running back in the NFL, John? Because when we look at top 5 running backs in the NFL, does Jahmyr Gibbs fall in that top 5 category? I don't think so. You're looking at CMC. You're looking at Kenneth Walker. You're looking at Saquon Barkley. You're looking at old Charbonnet. Hell, you're looking at Javonte Williams. Jahmyr Gibbs does not fall in that top 5 category. He wants to be the highest paid running back in the NFL. What? What? Poor Garrett. Let that man go to the Ravens. Who's Garrett? John says that's why they got Pacheco. Both catch passes as run as well. So, John, logically speaking, you are saying we brought in a former #1 running back because we know that Jahmyr Gibbs cannot be the premier RB1 play after play, week after week, year after year. That's exactly what you said. We brought in Isaiah Pacheco to ease the workload. We brought in Isaiah Pacheco to catch the ball out of the backfield. We brought in Isaiah Pacheco to give Jahmyr Gibbs breaks because we know he can't do that. So in theory, let's say Jahmyr Gibbs let's say Jahmyr Gibbs gets $20 million a season. He signs a 4-year, $100 million, it'd be $80 million deal for the Detroit Lions. Let's just call it 5 years just because $100 million sounds a hell of a lot better than $80 million, right? Let's just say they do that. Then, to me, you are the highest paid running back in the NFL. You are the best running back in the NFL. You are going to be getting the ball 20, 25, 30 times a game. I don't need Isaiah Pacheco. So you're telling me you brought in Isaiah Pacheco to pay Gibbs $20 million a season to get $10 million worth of production. He says split duty. Come on, baby. Come on, baby, split duty. So if you're splitting duty, you should be able to split that money. If you're doing half the work, you should get half the pay. $15 million for Gibbs. That's it. That's it. He says, yeah, he is a top 5 running back. Get out of here. Get out of here. Rob says Gibbs is tired of carrying the Lions on his back. Gibbs has been a part of the carrying of the Detroit Lions on his back, Ron. You're absolutely correct. He has been a part of it. Gibbs and Montgomery. Gibbs and Pacheco. Gibbs and Gibbs and Gibbs and. It's never been Jahmyr Gibbs. It's been Gibbs and company. Come on, man. Come on. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. Electronisha says, nah. That hold-in ain't a good thing. That's probably why they got Pacheco to go alongside him. So, Electronisha says, to be fair, they got a Jay Pacheco after they traded David Montgomery back in March or April, whenever it was. Jahmyr Gibbs just started this hold-in last Wednesday. That's when the hold-in started. So what I really think happened is like, he's like, man, I'm in year 3, year 4. I haven't got paid yet. Because if you think about this, most first-round rookies, which that's what Jahmyr Gibbs is, working on his rookie deal, most first-round rookies, if they're going to get a long-term deal, get it by year 3. Year 3 in that summer is when you can start working out those contracts, right? Get 4, 5, 6, 12, 15 years, whatever, right? About 3 years ago, I was a firm believer. Never draft a running back in the first round. It's stupid. Ask 9, ask the 10, ask the ask the 12. Running backs are a dime a dozen. My mindset after drafting Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round the last couple seasons has totally flipped. Running backs are still a dime a dozen. Do not get it twisted. Yes, there are outliers out there. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara. There are outliers out there. However, you draft a running back in the first round. You get him on a 5-year contract. You can franchise tag him twice. That's 7 years of service. Use him and abuse him, then ship him out. That's what the Detroit Lions should do. Use and abuse Jahmyr Gibbs for 5 years, franchise tag him, make him a top 5 paid running back the next 2 seasons, and then let him walk away. Draft the next guy, and you can run your split duty. John says, are you a cop? Let him get his $1 bills, yo. I'm not a cop, brother. But Jahmyr Gibbs is stealing from the Detroit Lions. He's stealing. Going to make $20 million to pay half the time? Come on now. Ron says, well, Monty is gone, so who replaced him? Jay Pacheco replaced him. I would say if you get a Kansas City year 1, 2, and half a year 3, Jay Pacheco, the Detroit Lions running game got better. However, if you get last year's Jay Pacheco, it could be an issue. So go ahead and let me drop off this overlay here real quick, because there are some Chicago Bears fans in the chat, and they want this question answered. Chicago Bears Nation says buy on Caleb Williams over 4,000 yards and 68 completion percentage in 2026. So Mr. David White, the White, as they like to call him, wants to know if Caleb Williams will get over 4,000 yards and 68% completion percentage. Half of that statement is a buy, and half of that statement is a sell, David. The buy part is a 68% completion percentage. I feel like right now in the NFL is probably 65 is about average, right? If you are a 65% completion percentage quarterback in the NFL, you are a top 15 quarterback and like above. I believe last year we saw somebody up to 72%-ish, I think. And a top 15 quarterback last year was as low as like 63, 64%. So 68, top 15 quarterback right there in the middle. I think that's where Caleb Williams will be this season. The 4,000 yard mark is the question mark. Because It is August 3rd, 9:50 p.m. East Coast time. The Man-Hour Bible clearly states, thou shalt not trust the Chicago Bears until December. And guys, we all have been through school. August does not mean December. We have September, we have October, we have November, we have December. We have 4 or 5 months before we can even start buying hype into the Chicago Bears. With that being said, Mr. White, the Chicago Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer. The Chicago Bears have not won back-to-back divisions in, 15, 16 years. The Chicago Bears have not been back-to-back playoff bursts in, 14, 15 years. I am not saying that Chicago Bears will be a bad team this season. I'm not saying that Caleb Williams will be a bad quarterback this season. What I am saying is that people know how to beat the Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams offense in Chicago, i.e. playoff game last season. If you put pressure on Caleb Williams, he will crumble. If you put pressure on Caleb Williams, play after play after play, he will force the ball. If you put pressure on Caleb Williams, play after play after play, he will throw interceptions. With that being said, I expect a lot of nickeling, diming from Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears this season. A lot of Cole Kmet, a lot of Loveland, a lot of running backs in the backfield, very few pushing the ball down the field type of plays, because we know how to disrupt Caleb Williams. And if you're able to step, boom, get it out, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, boom, they're like it is gone. Nickeling, dime it down the field, that'll take pressure off of Caleb Williams. That will force teams stop to bring in the blitz and then scoop back, and then you can push it down the field once or twice a game. So with that being said, I do not expect a 4,000-yard season. I expect a 3,500 to 3,700-yard season. 60, 70% completion percentage, sure, great. But no 4,000 yards for Caleb Williams this season. And Ron says, yes, Caleb will get 4,000 yards passing this season. No, wrong. You are wrong. No, wrong. No, Ron, you are wrong. Say that 5 times. That's tough. Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. Not great. Decent. And then Ron says, yes, you are right. What am I right about, Ron? About the percentage or the yardage? What am I right about? Because I'm right about both things. Right about both things at the end of the day. Let's just be real. But guys, that has been it for the Man Hour today. A little bit of here, a little bit of here. Guys, we are in the NFL season. We'll get things fine-tuned a little bit more. We'll be back tomorrow. And Lecter Rusher says Caleb will get 2,000 yards passing. I love it. If that happens, I'm on cloud 9, baby. Because Kirko Chains will double Caleb Williams passing yards this season if that happens. But guys, we are fine-tuning things here at the Man Hour. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. East Coast time. We are at 9 p.m. East Coast time for the rest of the week. And then we're back to our 7 p.m. time, Monday through Thursday. Until then, guys, we out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you're ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL talk. Let's go.